my name is Esther. I've been invited to speak a little bit about the book of Esther. I am Esther. I live in Arizona. I go to Lifelink Church, and as you can tell, I'm at work. Anyway, a little bit about the book of Esther. It's in the Old Testament. It's one of the historical books that was written when the Israelites were in captivity. The author is not really known. Some people think it's Mordecai or Ezra or Nehemiah who wrote the book, but we don't really know the author. But the book was written more for the Jews to tell them or remind them that God still cares. It actually is the only book in the Bible that God is not mentioned, but everything that happens leads us back to God. It was written in between 483 and 473 BC, a time span of about 10 years. Three main areas that the book of Esther talks about. Chapter 1 through 2 talks about the coronation of Esther, so when she comes in and becomes the queen. And then chapter 3 through 7 talks about Haman's condemnation. And chapter 8 to 10 talks about Israel's celebration. The main verse in the book of Esther is in chapter 4, verse 13 to 14, that talks about such a time as this. And that's what you're going to hear a lot of when you read the book of Esther. Fun fact, as I already mentioned, is that that's the only book that God is not mentioned. It starts out with King Azariah having a party to show off who he is, invites his wife, Queen Vashti, who refuses to come, ends up being demoted. And then the king holds this whole big beauty pageant to look for a queen that goes from India to Ethiopia. Esther must have been really beautiful because she won the pageant. And her uncle Mordecai comes into the picture and overhears people talking about killing the Israelites. So Mordecai tells Esther, and Esther holds 3 days of fasting and lets the king know that the Israelites are going to be killed. The king gets really mad and asks for who was doing this, comes to find out it's Haman, who was like his right-hand official. He ends up commanding for Haman to be killed, and Mordecai takes over the position, and the Israelites are saved, which reminds us that God always cares about us at wherever place we are at. So I pray that you have a wonderful time studying the book of Esther, that you're going to learn so much. Love you all and blessings.